This is the agentic executive, and today we're going to kill a very expensive habit, treating fully predictable situations like fresh emergencies.
Think about the last 12 to 18 months. Revenue dipped suddenly. Pipelines spiked. A key person was out for a week. Your CRM or payment processor went down at the worst possible moment. None of that was new in type, but the reaction probably was. Panic Slack threads, emergency meetings, a lot of heat, not much light.
And the real cost there isn't just the incident itself, it's the redeciding. The 15th time everyone has to debate from scratch what to do when pipeline drops 20% or when inbound volume doubles overnight. The system is screaming, but the organization is improvising.
Exactly. High agency operators don't treat recurring futures as surprises. They pre-decide their moves. That's what we're building today. Executive scenario thresholds. A small set of pre-agreed trigger lines plus response plays so that when the wobble hits, you just run the script.
If you've ever thought we keep having the same fire drill, this is the antidote. One core idea, 3 simple moves, and by the end of this briefing, you'll be able to sketch a compact playbook that lives in your docs and in your AI assistants.
Let's start with a clean definition so you can map this onto your own world quickly. Executive scenario thresholds are 2 things glued together. First, a small set of recurring scenarios that actually stress your system. Second, clear thresholds that tell you this scenario is now active, plus a short response play for the first 24 to 72 hours.
The important word there is small. This is not the 300-page contingency binder that nobody reads. This is 4 to 6 situations that keep hitting you. Revenue swings, demand spikes, capacity holes, infrastructure failures.
The second important word is threshold. No vibes-based concern. No, it feels bad this month. A threshold is a line in the sand. When this metric crosses that line, the scenario is on, and a default set of moves comes online with it.
You can think of it like turning turbulence into a checklist. Planes don't rely on the pilot's mood to decide what to do when they hit rough air. There are thresholds, altitude, speed, cabin pressure, and then there are plays.
The goal is not perfection. The goal is to move from improvisation to prepared defaults. Clarity is leverage, and you want that clarity before the next wobble hits, not during. We'll walk this as 3 moves. Select, set, script. Select your scenarios. Set your thresholds. Script your first 72 hours. Let's start with select.
Move 1. Select. This is where you zoom out over the last 1 to 2 years and ask a simple question. When did we feel most stressed as a system? Not emotionally stressed, but operationally stressed.
If you're an executive or a founder, you can usually name these in under 2 minutes. For example, a 20% pipeline drop over a quarter, a 2-time spike in inbound lead volume, a critical engineer, salesperson, or operator suddenly out, or a key tool, a CRM, a payments rail, your main AI agent going dark.
I like to force it across 4 buckets, so you don't only think about revenue. Revenue, demand, capacity, infrastructure. 1 or 2 scenarios from each is enough. Revenue might be that pipeline drop. Demand is the sudden surge of orders or tickets. Capacity is people out or a hiring gap. Infrastructure is tool outages, vendor failures, data issues.
And constrain the list. 4 to 6 scenarios total. If you try to model everything, you'll model nothing. We want the recurring stressors, not the edge cases.
If you're not sure which ones are truly recurring, look at where you've burned calendar time. Which topics keep hitting your leadership agenda? Which problems show up in your weekly review notes or in your all-hands Q&A again and again? Patterns create power. Those patterns are the ones worth a play.
By the end of Move 1, you should have a short list in front of you. Something like pipeline down 20%, inbound up 2 times, critical person out for a week, core tool down for more than 4 hours. That's enough to move to the second move, set.
Move 2, set. Here we translate vague concern into explicit thresholds. You're drawing a bright line between watch and active for each scenario.
The simplest case is numeric. If qualified pipeline is down 20% versus the trailing 3-month average for 2 consecutive weeks, the revenue stress scenario is active. That's a sentence your dashboard can actually check.
For a demand spike, you might say, if inbound support tickets or orders are at 150% of normal daily volume for 3 days, the demand spike scenario is active. Again, no vibes, just a line you can measure.
Not everything has to be a metric in a dashboard, though. You can have crisp, qualitative thresholds as well. For example, if any single critical tool is fully unavailable for more than 60 minutes during business hours, the core tool down scenario is active. That's qualitative, but still sharp. There's no debate about what counts.
The risk here is over-specifying. You don't need 50 criteria per scenario. You want 1 or 2 clear triggers that flip the switch. This is not legal drafting. It's operational clarity.
A good stress test is, could a new manager in your org apply this threshold without asking you for interpretation? If the answer is no, it's probably too fuzzy or too complex.
And remember, thresholds are living. Markets shift. Your tolerance for volatility changes. Tools improve. Treat these thresholds as defaults for this quarter, not eternal truths. You can revisit them in a quarterly review.
So at this point, you've selected your scenarios and set simple thresholds. The final move is where the leverage really kicks in. Script.
Move 3. Script. For each scenario, you're going to write one short paragraph that answers a single question. What happens in the first 24 to 72 hours after this threshold is crossed?
Think of it as a mini play. Who gets notified? What's the immediate action? What pauses? What accelerates? And what decision checkpoint are you aiming for? Like a scheduled review in 48 hours.
Take that pipeline drop example. Your script might read, when the pipeline drop threshold is hit, the CRO, CEO, and RevOps lead are notified. Within 24 hours, we run a win-loss and stage conversion analysis on the last 30 days. Temporarily freeze any discretionary spend on non-critical initiatives and shift 1 SDR towards outbound in our most proven segment. We schedule a decision review in 48 hours to decide if we expand these measures or roll them back.
Or for a demand spike, when inbound volume is at 150% for 3 days, support leads, ops, and product are notified. We immediately implement a lightweight triage. Top-tier customers and revenue-critical tickets get priority. Non-essential feature requests are acknowledged with extended SLAs. And we pause non-urgent internal meetings for the support team for 48 hours. We review backlog health at the end of that window. Everyone knows the play.
The discipline here is to keep it short and specific. 1 paragraph per scenario, first 72 hours only. Default moves, default owners, default trade-offs.
And remember, the script is not a prison. It's a starting point. The threshold doesn't put you on autopilot. It triggers a structured conversation with a default plan. That's how you avoid the brittleness you sometimes see in traditional contingency planning.
So, where does AI fit? It turns out AI is very good at two parts of this: mining your past for patterns and turning your scripts into usable operational artifacts.
On the mining side, you can drop 12 to 24 months of incident logs, weekly updates, or even meeting notes into an AI system and ask, what are the top recurring stress scenarios we faced? It will surface patterns you're half aware of but haven't named explicitly.
You can also have AI propose draft thresholds. For example, analyze our revenue and pipeline data and suggest simple numeric thresholds that would have caught the last 3 major downturns within 2 weeks. You're not delegating the final call. You're using AI as an analyst to give you options.
Then on the scripting side, once you have your one-paragraph plays, AI can turn them into checklists, runbooks, and even alert copy. Turn this paragraph into a step-by-step checklist with owners. Or draft the Slack alert we send when this scenario goes active in a calm, factual tone. Precision drives agency, and AI is very good at expressing precision across formats.
If you're running agentic systems, you can go one step further. Encode the thresholds as actual triggers in your dashboards or monitoring tools. When a scenario flips to active, your AI assistant can notify the right channel, attach the checklist, and summarize the last time this scenario occurred and what you learned.
The key is that AI is reinforcing your judgment, not replacing it. It's making sure the playbook shows up in front of the right people, at the right moment, with the right level of context. The system reveals the truth when you wire it that way.
Let's make this concrete for 3 profiles: a founder, a VP, and an independent operator. Each can implement 3 thresholds this month without overwhelming themselves.
If you're a founder, your 3 might be revenue pipeline down 20%, inbound demand up 2 times, and key tool down. You'd set simple thresholds as we've described, and then script 1 paragraph per scenario for your leadership team. Store those in a short scenario threshold stock and link it in your operating manual and your AI workspace.
If you're a VP, say of sales or operations, you might choose team capacity shift, like losing a top performer for a week or more, a region or segment underperforming by a clear percentage, and a system bottleneck, like your internal tooling slowing close rates. Your thresholds and scripts live inside your team's playbook and your weekly review ritual.
And if you're an independent operator, consultant, solo builder, fractional exec, your thresholds can be even more personal. For example, if I'm booked above 80% of my ideal capacity for more than 2 weeks, I trigger my capacity stretch script, pause new discovery calls, raise minimum engagement size, and lean on AI to absorb low-leverage tasks. That's you protecting your own operating system.
In all 3 cases, the pattern is the same: a tiny portfolio of scenarios, crisp thresholds, and short scripts. Then you wire them into the tools and assistants you already use, so you don't have to remember them when you're tired or stressed.
Treat this as the opposite of heavyweight contingency planning. No binders, no simulations, just a few rehearsed moves for futures you already know will arrive in some form.
Let's close with your one action for today. Keep it small and real. Step 1. Choose one recurring scenario. Just one. The one that has annoyed you the most in the last year.
Step 2. Set a single threshold that flips it from watch to active. One metric or one crisp condition. If you can't explain it in one sentence, it's too complex.
Step 3. Write a 1-paragraph script for the first 24 to 72 hours. Who gets notified? What happens immediately? What pauses? What accelerates? And when you'll review the situation.
Optional step 4, if you have AI in the loop, drop that script into your AI assistant and say, turn this into a checklist with owners and draft the alert message we'll send when the scenario goes active. You've just encoded your first scenario threshold.
Do that once today. Put it where your team or your future self will actually see it. Then, over the next month, build up to 3 to 6 scenarios. That's enough to change how your organization feels under stress.
If this briefing sharpened your thinking, subscribe to the Agentic Executive. Every episode is built to give you one clear idea, a few sharp moves, and a practical way to wire AI into your operating system in 10 minutes or less. Make your next move count. Stay agentic.